Hi, it's Sarabeth Emet, and today is well, it was Christmas, so this was Thursday, and now it's become Friday. It's just about 1 a.m. I'm up really late and still going. I found this song. It's been a long day, a day without Christmas, but still, the 25th of December, and it's 2025, and this made it Thursday, 12/25 of 25, and it is, as I said, close to 1 a.m. And I found some medicine to work on, and I wanted to share with and move through some of this meditation. And what came to me was to share with everyone. I realize there isn't all that much viewership at this time. They tell me that one day, make the videos as you choose. And one day you may find that there are those audience members, audience people who are able to process the material in their time. So, okay, I'll work with that as best I'm able. So, I give thanks, I suppose, for the opportunity of the now to be in the present moment and to process what it is that I need. Um, let's see, there is this story that keeps going through my mind. Oh, what are we looking at? What are we looking at quickly? This Shine Your Light is um, what do you call this? Like an adult coloring something or other that I found at the Dollar Tree, and I bought it for myself as a birthday gift for like $3. A few of these different kind of velvet color in yourself. Um, Whatever these are called. I can't think of the right word right now. Excuse me, and it's awfully late. But um, I found that as potentially good medicine, and I think it turned out really well. Listening to a terrific book of Jungian feminist psychology and medicine called Wise Woman. And it's been really good for me. So I sat listening to this audiobook and coloring on this piece of medicine. And I don't mean to be so scattered. I'm just tired and it's late and I've had a little bit of wine. But at the same time, life has been really hard. I've come through um, a great deal of storm and swamp. I'm being attacked in some new and enhanced manner of radiation electric shock to my nose and my eyes and my teeth when I eat or drink water. And it's overwhelming and extremely extensive, intensive, and overwhelming. But don't say overwhelming, say surviving or experiencing or something of that kind. So, on that note, I have a song to sing, and yet there was this story that came to me, this memory, and I suppose it fits in terms of living life and overcoming life and accepting what is. There was this kind of famous story um, about having lived in a apartment with an ex-boyfriend who I didn't marry in Bloomfield, a neighborhood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Bloomfield. I lived on Edmund Street, and neighborhood Bloomfield, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and this was a predominantly Italian neighborhood, although many people lived there, and it was kind of quiet, a little bit further out than the university, but at the same time, university students may still live around there. And I just graduated, and my boyfriend at the time still worked for the university, and he would walk in. I mean, it was, a good walk, but, like very Pittsburgh, and the streets were home. and people still put their chairs out in their parking spaces, to keep their places on the street. And it was very, like provincial in a good way, in a sense, or something like that. I mean, people knew who they were. People, I don't know, they had their ways. And it was like, I was a part of the burg. And I was an outsider. I came from Illinois and went to the University of Pittsburgh, and excuse me, itch in my eye. And by the time I got to that age, um, I was living, deeper in the burg, and it was okay. It was kind of nice, actually. And um, all the aluminum sided houses, and like you could potentially walk from, to and from a store or something, or you could live kind of in this urban residential. It was okay. Like it was, possibly a place to make home. And I don't know, I could have lived, in Squirrel Hill. I could have lived in other places. I could have lived, all sorts of places around Pittsburgh, but we were renting there in Bloomfield, and this was not a man I married, and it was a good thing. Olive thought at the time that we were working towards something, but we were not. And we were together for 3 years, and it was what it was. And anyway, we were living in a rental, and it was the second story on top of this bakery. It was no longer a bakery, but it was the bakery was now 4 blocks up the street on the main road, and it was a storage space. And sometimes the smell of the um, sweetener or the whatever it was that they were baking with, because we were living over what became a storage space. I think it was once either a home or a bakery, but the sweet smell of whatever they were keeping in storage would come up into our apartment in the summertime. And it was that kind of, um, there was a bit of this old world charm to the neighborhood we were living in. And it was like these little remnants of what was left over of, good life, like America. And these streets that you could only know because you were from there kind of place. And, I had this opportunity to live in what was an interesting corner of an interesting city for a short period of time. And I'll give thanks. Um, so it was an interesting rental in an interesting city. And I can remember waking up one morning and seeing these figures on the other side of the curtains. We had put plastic over the windows, as you do in a rental, and to keep it warm. And so we'd covered the windows with plastic, and we used the tape, I think, and this was the answer. And on top of the plastic, we put curtains. And one morning, maybe it was springtime, and I woke up and I saw these things, these insects. They were like enormous, crawling on the other side of the curtain. And they were actually on the other side of the plastic, and they were wasps. But these wasps, due to the magnification of the sun, were like the size of a fist or something. I mean, these were enormous bugs that were crawling on the other side of the plastic, but I didn't know what the story was. And I had to gain my courage to reach the window, to pull back the curtain, to find that there were these large yellow jacket wasps crawling around on the plastic between the window and the plastic that we'd put on. I mean, it was something, and so I called I think it was a day off or something. I was after graduation. I earned a master, no, not a master. That was later. I earned a BA in English writing fiction. And so that, enabled me to work as a receptionist in a hair salon. And I give thanks for that job. And to work at home and to, develop my scripts and things. I was a hardworking, wannabe artist. And no, no, I was an artist. And I was working very hard to develop my voice and my future. And here I am today. So, um, I think I called my boyfriend and said at the time we were living together and we didn't get married and this was a good thing. And what to do? He said, "Well, call the landlord." So I called the landlord, and the landlord I didn't actually know, but the man who I thought was, so the landlord, and he was this kind of shorter, attractive, very much older Italian man with bright white hair and bright blue eyes, and he says, "Well, this is what you're gonna do." He was this older Italian man, something like a gentleman, as I remember him. He says, "This is what you're gonna do." He says, "You're gonna go to the store. You're gonna get the spray. It's called the bee killer." The Goblin terrorist wanted me to relate this story. I'm gonna say it again. There were these monster creatures crawling on the other side of the plastic, which was against the window, and it was magnified, with the sunlight onto the curtains as though these wasps were like as big as a fist. And he says, the landlord, he says, "You're going to get the spray. It's called the bee killer." So I went to the store. I looked on the shelves and I found the spray. It was called Bee Killer. And I had to peel back the tape. I had to peel back this plastic, or the boyfriend at the time, and use the spray, the bee killer. He says, "This is what you're going to do. You're going to get the spray. It's called the bee killer. You think this is for the hallway the next time I try to go to the store?" I don't know. We've been telling this story for years. So I followed through with that one, and I'm doing the best that I can. And did I give you my name? My name is Sarabeth Emet. "Hi," I said. "What's my name?" "Sarabeth Emet." Very good. And I've now talked for, close to 13 minutes in terms of, life and what it is, the medicine that life has brought, and somewhere this story, this knowledge, this need to bring the courage and the necessity that it's right there on a shelf. It's called the bee killer. They sell it at the store. What do you know? So some small lesson in life that I've always carried with me. And I was going through my day, and I've lost the exact bridge, but somewhere this all went together. And I found myself moving through, this, that, and the other. And I found myself receiving or reaching for the theme song from Mahogany, and coming back to where I've been, and these bees, these wasps that were like, larger than life and crawling on the other side of the curtain, and luckily not inside, but these monsters in the window. And shine your light is this message that I was working on for today. My needs are not met and I cannot realistically make relationship is this scribble that I wrote down the other day. in terms of trying to be realistic with all the FUs that I was writing on my Facebook, and the pain that that brings in me to be in a place to be saying this to men who, not just one man, but men who I want to respect and give honor and behave with in a very different manner. Not all of whom I'm able to love, right? But one man specifically who I have dreams of meeting again and making, serious relationship with. And these other guys who, are working hard. Here, I've taken all this time. Excuse me. It's my time. It's your time. This is our time. And shine your light. Shine your light. And well, I worked on that today, listening to this, amazing feminist Jungian book in terms of storytelling and growing and eldership and, growing into myself and accepting what is and accepting all that I have. As I've been reminded, you've got to accept what you have, they say, is an early family lesson. And okay, you can't make good out of bad, but there can be good. And it's been a hard number of days. It's been a hard number of hours. And I'm wearing my favorite sweatpant outfit right now. And, this is today. And shine your light and accept where I am and what I have. And thinking back about where I was a year ago, right now, in terms of this hour of the day, I'd have been 1 year ago laying in the bed in the psychiatric hospital internment that I was forced into criminally. And it would have been, in essence, my first night in that hospital. And, well, I can only remember it so well, but I'd have survived my first full day where I am right now today. And this is where I've been the last couple of days. I don't know if I spend the next 12 days exactly, recounting, or there have been a number of not flashbacks, but recollections. And I've been recollecting all year as need be. And of course, I wrote that 57-page single-spaced essay or recollection of the experience. And I don't want to read it right now, but if at some point need be, I can do so. But so I've been, working on and healing and in recovery from what happened a year ago. And I know I need to keep the pepper spray on my hand, both in the hallway as well as in the parking lots. There was a man who terrorized me last month in a parking lot, and made it clear to me, it was his need to tell me, you need to keep pepper spray on your hand at all time. One of the goblin terrorists. I thought, daylight, and I'm in the public, I'm in a parking lot, but no, he said, so I don't know if they're trying to get me to use the pepper spray in some public environment. I hope not. They set me up last year and wound up criminally interning me for what was later determined self-defense. The city of Wheeling and the state of Illinois dropped the charges against me, which were indeed criminal in the first place. I was not psychotic, and I was not I was not paranoid schizophrenic, and I'm still not. I never was and have never been. And this is not an easy life I'm living. A terrible thing happened to me a year ago, and I'm still recovering from it. And I came through very serious hell Um, I think it's the 23rd. And the hours since have been full of terrible, terrible pain, very hard, very serious pain. And I'm doing the best that I can. Eating and drinking water produces excruciating pain. And of course, getting into bed, trying to sleep, creates abuse environment. And, life is not easy. And it was not my intention to lose any or all that I have gained. But I found myself, full of, excuse me, I'm being harmed right now. I found myself full of anger and ugliness recently, which I needed to communicate, on my Facebook, as I've done before. And this is where I find myself right now. I became sober in the recollection of what was asked of me. And um, at the same time, I wondered if I would be strong enough to reach, what this song asks. And it's good meditation. And we have the soundtrack to the film Mahogany in our Hoopla Midwest Digital Library, and I'm glad that it's there. I'm glad that it's there. Listening to the renditions of the song over and over really was good for me, and I scribbled down the lyrics with the opportunity. So I've been speaking a great deal, and I give thanks for whatever audience this brings somewhere in the future, even as right now. Doing the best that I can, because I can't do the best that I want, is what I realize. I can't bang that gong, or I can't reach the bell, or um it's not about not being beautiful enough. It's not about not being 18 anymore. It's not about I don't know what, but it's like I can't do well enough. And I'm doing the best and the hardest I'm able. And I don't mean to self-deprecate either. But this is a big song, which I can remember listening to when I was a very little girl. It was on the radio, 1975. Diana Ross songwriters Jerry Goffin and Michael Masser. And I can remember, in a sense, growing up with this song in the background as it was a hit, and a song which I'm sure very, very many people in the Chicago area would know and remember. And it's some part of, somebody said something about the me generation, and that led me into Mahogany and the theme song from this film, which, as I said, I haven't seen the film, but I've only seen that last scene, and where she comes back to him. And I know this is deep medicine. It's most likely a song I would put into my own life story one day, as I've got a script which I'm waiting to reach one day. And I figure out over time where pieces fit together, where things go. And here's this song and this opportunity. And quick before I erase this video and try to somehow re-record it, I think I'll just continue. Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Do you get what you're hoping for? When you look behind you, there's no open doors. What are you hoping for? Do you know? Once we were standing still in time, chasing the fantasies that filled our minds. You knew I loved you, but my spirit was free. laughing at the questions that you once asked of me. Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Now looking back at all we planned, we let so many dreams just slip through our hands. Why must we wait so long before we see how sad the answers to those questions can be? Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Do you get what you're hoping for? When you look behind you, there's no open doors. What are you hoping for? Do you know? Buffalo, I love you and I wish you well. And I'm longing and waiting and hoping to meet you and to begin life and to make right. And I give you thanks and I wish you very, very well. And I want you to know that you're always in my thoughts and always on my mind. And I know I've had to be ugly and say very hard things, but sir, I want you to know that I do believe in you and I know that you're working hard because I'm working hard. I had said something, it's something like a lesson, like my needs come before yours. And of course, our needs are together. And in some level, they've always been. And then at the same time, no, of course not. There's separate and there's real and there's love. And all the songs that are flooding me right now, as though I could find those lyrics and sing them. But I can't catch all of those songs. And I just want you to know I'm working as hard as I can, all by myself and with all the help that I'm able to receive as well. And I do wish you very well and I give you thanks. And my answer is yes. My answer is yes. Okay. So I'll always see you soon. Okay. Much love. Sarabeth Emet.